The room went silent the moment she stood. Not because of her title, but because everyone knew she was about to say the one thing nobody in Washington had the courage to say. And when she opened her mouth, she didn't disappoint. She started slowly, almost calmly. "Thank you so much," she said, her voice steady but sharp. "I just find it interesting, how we seem to care more about dogs' lives than human lives." A low murmur rippled through the room, but she pressed on. She explained why so many were skeptical of the new so-called immigration enforcement laws. Then she held up a report from The Guardian, reading aloud the line that made the committee lean forward in their seats. Immigrants with no criminal record are now the largest group in ICE detention. She paused, letting the weight of those words settle like dust in a quiet room. Then she turned her attention to Mr. Van Drew. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't have to. "You spoke with so much passion about the bad guys," she said. "People believed you. They believed the president. But the receipts don't lie, and your actions no longer match your words." You could feel the tension thicken. She wasn't attacking, she was exposing. Then came the moment everyone knew would blow the room open. "Since we're talking about hypocrisy," she said, leaning in, "let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein." The room froze. She reminded them of the 2-month shutdown, 2 whole months where they weren't allowed to even mention Epstein's name. But now, suddenly, everyone wanted to act like they cared about the victims. Where, she demanded, was this energy before? And then she went straight for the heart of their defense. "Don't blame Joe Biden. Don't twist tapes you can't produce. The president campaigned on the Epstein files. We campaigned on affordability. And now the very policies you supported are making life harder for Americans." Her words hit like hammer blows, calm, precise, unforgiving. She painted the reality most politicians avoid. 42 million Americans surviving on $6 a day. Prices rising. Families struggling. Voices ignored. And yet, somehow, the president had managed to find $40 billion, not for hungry Americans, but to send to Argentina. She raised her eyebrows. But emergency funds to feed our own citizens? Suddenly, those can't be found. The room fell quiet again. Not from disagreement, but from the painful truth they could no longer hide from. Finally, she drove in the last, sharp nail. "If we're going to be honest about Epstein," she said, "then let's be honest about everything, including why so many of you are losing your elections." Then, with a tone that was equal parts warning and invitation, "Let's start having real conversations. Before more of you lose your seats. And before the American people lose even more than they already have." She sat down. But the silence she left behind was louder than any speech given that day.